Lead is really a bad actor as a chemical. It affects virtually every brain system that anybody's ever looked at. It interferes with the development of the brain, the formation of connections between nerve cells, which is the way that we process, understand information, and the way we lay down memories. So lead interferes with cell-to-cell communication, and so the child's brain ends up being abnormal in ways that the brain of a child who has not been exposed to lead is not. Neuroimaging of children or adults who had been exposed to lead as children show that there is volume loss in key parts of the brain, including the prefrontal cortex, which is the seat of reasoning, ability to resist impulse, the ability to plan for the future, the ability to inhibit inappropriate responses. It affects the ability to delay gratification, so that very often we hear that lead reduces children's IQ scores, which is true, but that's only the tip of the iceberg, and that there are many, many other adverse effects of lead that mean that a child who's been exposed to lead is at a substantial disadvantage in terms of their later life. We know that children with higher exposures are less likely to achieve success in school. They're more likely to drop out, and before that they're more likely to require remedial services. We know that lead increases a child's risk of meeting criteria for behavioral disorders such as ADHD and conduct disorder, and there's even evidence now that adults who were exposed to a lot of lead as children have a greater propensity to engage in criminal activity. And I think that what that reflects is the fact that there's a developmental cascade of effects. A child whose IQ has been reduced and who has difficulty processing and remembering information, can't do well in school, they find it less rewarding, they get into trouble, they may because of behavioral problems. So a child will look for success in other venues. Not all children who have been exposed to too much lead will go on in this particular way to engage in criminal activity, but it sets a child on a developmental trajectory that if the other conditions are such that this kind of socially pathological behaviors may result. We do know that children who have been exposed to too much lead show persistent adversities in terms of their cognitive and behavioral function, but what we don't know is if intervening to provide supportive interventions to these children may benefit, may alter their developmental trajectory so that the outcome is a better one for them. I think if we simply characterize the deficits, lead-associated deficits, as permanent, we give up on the children, and I think that would be a shame. That we need to identify ways to mitigate the adverse effects of the exposure to optimize the outcomes of the children. A very strong argument in favor of taking steps such as de-leading homes is that once a home is de-leaded, it's never going to poison another child.